Welcome to Tuesday's lesson. Before we begin, I just want to remind you that in any math that we're using and doing from this week at least, you can use a calculator. It doesn't have to be a special calculator. You can use one on your computer or your phone. Any calculator will do. Tonight's homework is going to be IXL 7.w.17. You can find that linked to Google Classroom where you found this assignment. And our essential question is, how can we use algebra to find unknown angles? So today we're going to take our love for algebra with our love for finding unknown angles, and we're going to combine them. Before we begin, the warm-up talks about we're going to go over the three major things that we've learned so far about angle relationships. Number one, this first one is complementary angles. This one represents supplementary angles, and this one represents vertical angles, which are congruent, meaning they're the same. Okay, so here, number one, we have complementary angles because this symbol means 90 degrees, and this angle is breaking this 90-degree angle into two angles. So if this is 60, in order to make 90, this must be 30 degrees. Number two is talking about complementary angle or supplementary angles, which add up to 180 because we have this straight line here, and straight lines are 180 degrees, and this angle is breaking it into two different angles, obviously, that have to add up to 180 degrees. So 129 plus what equals 180? The answer is 51. So x must be 51 degrees. And then finally, we have our vertical angles, and vertical angles are congruent. So since we have two straight lines that are crossing, these are vertical. So if this is 54, this is also 54, so x is 54 degrees. Now, our algebra is going to get a little more involved than just x by itself. So let's go over our steps to solving equations. Now, hopefully, these 5 steps, I'm actually hoping that everyone here that just saw me write down solving equations groaned and said, oh, I'm going to have to write this down again. And the answer is, I'll never know, but of course it would be helpful. So when we're solving equations, the steps are to combine like terms. Sometimes we need to distribute if necessary. To split. We're going to split our equation into two halves at the equal sign, because anything we do to one, we're going to remember that we have to do to the other. Number 3 is to isolate. Wherever that variable is, we want that to be the only thing on that side of the equal sign when we're done. Number 4 is inverse. And of course, when we're doing inverse operations, it is important that we remember reverse PEMDAS. So we want to use reverse order of operations. So combine, split, isolate, inverse, and then finally check. If you say that x equals 14, plug 14 in and make sure that it works. Okay? That should be familiar to everyone. That shouldn't be new. Hopefully you didn't have to write that down, but you did anyway, just because you knew how important it was. All right. The first example here, we have some complementary angles, because this says that these two angles add up to 90 degrees. So I know that the 54-degree angle plus this angle must add up to 90 degrees. Well, this angle is given an expression of 10x plus 16. Well, what I have here is now I have an algebraic equation where I must combine. So here are some like terms that I can combine. And then when we combine a 54 with a 16, we get 70 plus 10x equals 90. Split, isolate, inverse. We subtract 70 from both sides. And remember, we should do the subtraction of 70 first because addition and subtraction comes before multiplication and division if we're going in reverse order of operations. And we get 10x equals 20. And then the opposite of multiplication is division. And x equals 2. If I plug this in here, 10 times 2 is 20. 20 plus 16 is 36. Does it make sense that this angle is 36 and this angle is 54? It sure does, because 36 plus 54 equals 90, and so there's your proof that we did it correctly. Now you see where we're doing algebra and angle relationships. Here again, we have two complementary angles. So we know that the 22-degree angle plus the 4x angle must add to 90 degrees. There's nothing to combine here. Split, isolate. We subtract 22 from both sides. We get 4x equals 68. We divide by 4. We divide by 4. We get x equals 17. I don't know. That's some Sunday brain right there that I blanked on that one, but that's okay. And if we plug this in, 17 times 4 equals 68. 68 plus 22 equals 90, so that is true. All right, the next example, don't worry about the numbers here. They're not in any particular order. Here we have a pair of supplementary angles. Here's our 180-degree line, and it's being cut into 110 and 7x. So I know that the 110-degree angle plus the 7x degree angle has to add to 180 degrees. And now I'm going to use a little algebra. Combine, split, isolate, inverse. I'm going to subtract 110 from both sides, and I get 7x equals 70. Divide by 7, divide by 7, and x equals 10. 7 times 10 is 70. 70 plus 110 is 180. Next example here, we have two crossing lines, which means adjacent angles are supplementary. So these two angles add to 180. So 72 plus x plus 4 equals 180. Combine, we do have two like terms to combine. 76 plus x equals 180. Split, isolate, inverse is to subtract 76 from both sides. And we get x equals 104. 104 plus 4 is 108. 108 plus 72 is 180. So we got the right answer. There's our check step. Here we have two lines that cross, and these two angles are opposite each other, so they are vertical, which means they are congruent. That means that this angle is the same as this angle. So I'm going to set them equal to each other. 72 equals x plus 15. There's our algebraic equation. Split, isolate, inverse, and we get 57 equals x, or x equals 57. Same thing, if I plug 57 in here, 57 plus 15 equals 72. 72, 72, we got the right answer. And then two more. Here, once again, we have a straight line, and it's being broken up. So that means that this straight line obviously adds to 180 degrees. How are we making that 180 degrees? This 92-degree angle plus this x angle plus this 78-degree angle add up to 180 degrees. So we have 92 plus x plus 78 equals 180. Okay, 92 plus 78 equals 170. So there's our combining like terms. Plus x equals 180. I subtract 170 from both sides. Split, isolate, and I get x equals 10. Finally, our last one here. Oof, we don't have, for this one, this actually isn't complementary or supplementary because I don't have any singular straight lines, okay? But what I do know is that from here all the way around in a full circle, that equals 360 degrees. So if I take my x angle plus my 244-degree angle plus my 23-degree angle, that entire thing is going to add up to 360 degrees. Now we're going to combine like terms first. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to add our 244-degree angle with our 23-degree angle, and we get 267 degrees. And then we subtract 267 from both sides, and we get x equals 93, and that does make sense because if this were 93 plus 244 plus 23, we would go into a 360 degree, which is a full circle, and that's exactly what we have there. Okay, good luck with the IXL. You will also have a Khan Academy due this week, but I'm going to wait until the live lesson before I expect you to do it, but I will assign it, so if you'd like to start it, hop on to Khan Academy and you can take a look. All right, have a wonderful day. Email any questions. Bye, guys.